Let me ask you, what is your major focus of what you're trying to share now? Or let me come back to what I started to ask you earlier. I said, you've gone through a tremendous evolution. How do you perceive that evolution in your own life over the last 15 years or so?
The evolution is one of, instead of teaching people how to manage their emotions or how to avoid being victimized, I think it's the difference between self-help and self-realization, I guess. What I write about is always just a reflection of what I'm going through in my life. My writing is always very personal. The examples come out of my own experience in my own life. And my life has undertaken a dramatic transformation from a person who used to be a human being having a spiritual experience, as I said, to a spiritual being having a human experience. And I know,
profound difference there.
Yes, it is. And I know that who I am is divine. I'm a divine necessity, and each person listening is as well. And I know that there's a grand purpose, a heroic mission that every one of us has on this planet. And I think that my lessons have been much more spiritual, much more peaceful. Consequently, my life has become much more peaceful. And when my life is in harmony and serene, then my writing is that way. I think my writing flows more now. I think my message is that I know I'm not alone. I know that, and I guess if I know I'm not alone and I can go to a higher place within myself, that I believe that anybody can. That the same intelligence that flows through you is the same intelligence that flows through me. The only reason that I can't wiggle your finger is because I believe that I'm separate from you. But it's a oneness that is there. And I've met a beautiful, beautiful man. His name is Deepak Chopra.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we met him recently, and he's invited us to come out and
Deepak
visit
and I
him.
have become very, very friendly.
Incredible man.
Yeah, he is. And as a matter of fact, my wife just was diagnosed as having a cold nodule on her thyroid and was told that it was 2.5 centimeters and that she would have to have surgery. She went to 3 different endocrinologist specialists, and each of them said that she would have to have surgery. And that same day I met Deepak, the same day that we thought that my wife might have cancer. They said it could be cancerous and they couldn't take a chance. And that very same day, Deepak and I were doing a program together in Seattle, and we were, along with Louise Hay and Shakti Gawain and Kriyananda, and it was a very, very special day. And Deepak and he came to me, here's this man who's a physician and who grew up studying under Maharishi. I mean, just a brilliant man. And I'm ready to just bow to him, and he's bowing to me, telling me how much he loves me and how much he appreciates my work and all that. And we became like soul brothers. I mean, it was like a man I experienced love for instantaneously. And he invited Marcy to come up to his Ayurvedic medicine place up in Lancaster, Massachusetts. And she spent a week up there for the first time in 10 years that she slept alone, that she has been away from the children or away from me. And she went up there alone, and our 16-year-old daughter, we absolutely knew that she could handle this. And she handled 5 children for a week and just became, I mean, an unbelievable mother, from sort of a wild kind of teenager who likes to go out and be a teenager, I mean, to a totally, completely responsible person, because we believed that she could do it.
Yes.
And my wife went up there for a week and worked with Deepak, and he gave her herbs and oils and counseling.
Cleansed her system.
She came back, and in 1 week's time, Tony, she went back to the 3 endocrinologists, and the cold nodule is gone.
That's fantastic.
It's gone.
That's fantastic.
But she never believed for a second. I mean, it isn't like she said, oh, maybe I have cancer, but. It wasn't like that. She absolutely said, I'm not having surgery. I'm not interested in this. I know that I can do this. I know I can get rid of this. And all I have to do is just get my body balanced. And that's what Ayurveda taught her. Yes. That's what Deepak. So we're doing a program together. East meets West, kind of. And he said to me, he said, it's real interesting. He said, I came to the same conclusions about personal transformation and spirituality and this divineness. He said, I was raised in that tradition, and I went through medicine, and I'm a scientist. He said, you grew up on the streets of Detroit, and you came to the same kind of conclusions. And
truth is truth.
Yeah, and it's like, here we are now talking about various levels of higher consciousness, the different levels that you can reach in your life, and it's been magnificent. It's really been a joy to be associated with it, and that's really the difference between now and then. I mean, you talk about the transformation. The real difference is that I know I'm not alone now, and I know that there's a divineness that's in all of us.
What triggered that knowingness? Because so many people know it intellectually, but they don't embody it emotionally.
I try to think of what because we're always looking for things in the physical world that describe, what it is that happened. But there's a word in Zen tradition called Satori. We don't have a translation for it in English because we don't do it.
That's a real good point. Yeah. We don't have a word, we don't have an experience.
That's right. But it's like, in Japanese it's called shibumi. It's effortless perfection, or instant awakening, and where you just have this knowing.